Hey, come here. Come here. Ah, I can't get to. Hold on, hold on. Come here. Come here. Where are you going? No, just stay here. Just stay here. You can stay here. Right here. Just come on. Okay, on the ground. Who's rolling around? Oh boy. Hold on. I got to do the video real quick. Hold on. Hold on. Hello, everyone. This is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full time. I've been doing this with my fiance Netta for more than 3 years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm about to go into what we were shipping out today on Tuesday. So it was like a pretty decent day. Nothing too crazy. It wasn't like the worst, but it wasn't the best. So I'm just going to jump right into it. So the first thing is going to be a combo order. Right here is a bunch of, they're like infantry. They're like 1 out of 72 scales. So they're like half of an inch or almost an inch here. This one was like a bunch of just regular civilians. There's gonna be some horses. There's like barrels, little accessories for like the terrain. Right here is going to be a military cannon. This right here, I think, is actually a 72 scale. So I messaged the person right before I started this, or like when I was pulling the items at the storage unit, asking them if they still want it, because the other two things are 1 out of 72. This is 1 out of 32, I believe. They said that they still want it. So it's like a cannon. And then this one is also more infantry. These were just, yeah, generic ones. I couldn't figure out what war they're from. These ones are holding rifles right here. So I got a bunch of these soldiers, and for the ones that I just can't identify based on like the uniform, sometimes like the miniatures I get for my board games have like a higher quality, so I can tell better. These ones are just like too tiny, and they're technically like wars and stuff is out of my realm, even though I sell a bunch of the military stuff. I know people like them. They paint them up. They make vlogs. They'll like yeah, literally make like little dioramas and stuff. I forget like the official name for them, setups. So yeah, all of these end up going for $37.45 plus shipping. All right, next up, I just listed this yesterday. It's been a long time since I've seen this. So this is a bunch of parts. There's like cards, tokens, this board right here. This is for a big box board game called Batman Gotham City Chronicles. It was kind of like a popular thing. I don't know, it was like 10 years ago or something. So you're obviously going to be playing superheroes. I'm not sure if someone plays the villains or if there's like a computer AI deck or something that runs them. It's like I said, it's been a bit. But yeah, there's a ton of stuff to this game. It was kind of like really over the top. So yeah, there's a lot of like the villains and the little mob figures, the thugs, all the tokens. There's a lot of character cards. So yeah, this isn't a complete game. The complete game's like a big box like this, and then there's tons of expansions. People like this. This set of tokens and stuff went for $31.99. I had two different listings of tokens and bits and pieces, but it's pretty cool to list something and then get a sale for it the next day. All right, next up is going to be another combo order. This one is interesting. I'm not too sure if this is like a viewer sale. Sometimes when someone comes in and they buy like a bunch of kind of disconnected stuff, I always wonder if it's a viewer. Not everyone mentions it. So if it is, thank you to them for the support. If not, it's still nice that people watch us support. All right, let's go through it. Sorry, it was like different sizes too, so it's hard to keep together. Well, not too hard. So the first thing is going to be these Merrilton Fantasy. These are going to be like bear fantasy miniatures with like, instead of like riding horses, they're riding bears. There's like a shield and a spear for all the riders. These ones are pretty cool. I like the metal miniatures. These look like they'll be fun to paint. Probably for, I'm assuming, for a role playing game. These all of this stuff went for, I think it was like 35.50 for everything. So I'm not going to go through the individuals. Game of Thrones House Stark Sigil. This is a metal icon, one of these like little kits where I believe you either scratch it off and then it forms like a little art. This one actually looks like one that you build. I've never done one of these kits before. I've seen them a lot as I was a kid, so I can't speak. Like, I like doing different crafts, but yeah, Stark right there. A lot of people know Game of Thrones. The Starks are pretty popular alongside the Lannisters. All right, next up is going to be, this is probably why they got the bears. This is going to be an insert for Dragon magazine, which was a super popular TSR magazine. We've gotten them before really early, like our first year of eBay. Like I said, we used to like hunt down a lot of magazines. These magazines are for role-playing games, and then they have these inserts, which are little adventure modules. So a dungeon master can read one of these and they can take their players through a whole thing. This one's called Citadel by the Sea. Right there, they also got Quest for the Midas Orb. I also believe this is from a Dragon magazine, and then the Sword of Justice right here. So it's pretty, like, you can even see like the little castle or like the little dungeon that the dungeon master is going to run them through. Like I said, it's a small little thin adventure. Dungeon masters can always add more stuff to it. But I like the art in all these. I like the Dragon magazines. Those were really cool when we got them back in the day. So yeah, like I said, $35.50 for these 5 items. So I guess for RPG related, then there was the Game of Thrones metal craft kit, like a little miniature kit kind of. All right, next up, we sell these fairly often. These are advanced squad leader boards. These are going to be boards 1 through 7. These are going to be like the mounted ones, so they're like the cardboard. We've sold the paper ones. Some of them are also brown or black for the back sides. That I think is just like a different edition. I tried to talk to a couple people that were actually like more knowledgeable in advanced squad leader, but they couldn't figure out what the difference between the brown and black boards. I'm just mentioning these are the brown ones. These things would come. It's a wargaming miniature game. There's a bunch of modules, meaning like expansions, base game. You pick a scenario, you go through like a mini battle, maybe a war, and it tells you like what boards to use. You can. It's a hex game, so it's using these little hexes. You can make your own stuff by combining them. There's over like 100 different boards. I have 1 through 7. The earlier the number, the more common they were, because numbers 1 through 3 is going to be in like the base sets, and then like 4, 5, 6, like all of the expansions are the ones that have the additional maps. And as a game goes on, board game, the farther along it goes, less people play, so they made less, so it becomes more rare. Doesn't always mean that's more money, but yeah, these are the first 7. $37.39. I did eventually find, I have like bookmarked a little website that explains every single board and where they're from, like which expansion. So that was pretty cool. It took me a while to find that. But yeah. All right, next up is going to be a combo order. This one was also an interesting one. It's probably for Flames of War. So one right here is this little accessories pack for miniatures. It has tools, boxes, cable, digging tools, canvas bundles. So just a bunch of like debris or stuff to spice up your miniature gaming like display when you're playing the game. And then these are 2 dice for Flames of War. It's a World War II miniatures game by, I believe, Battlefront is the company. So there's a blue die with some airplanes, and then there's like a black die with a bunch of different symbols. There's like a crosshairs, there's a spade, there's a lightning bolt that looks like an Axis symbol. Not too sure what like particular like unit these go for, but these 2 together sold for $17 as like a mini combo order. All right, next up is going to be a Pusheen. This is going to be a summer 2019 bandana right here. Annetta used to get the Pusheen kits or whatever, those like mystery boxes, way before she knew me. So we ended up going to her parents' house at some time, and then her parent brought out all the stuff. She kept the Pusheen stuff that she wanted. She still likes Pusheen, but then all the stuff that she was never going to use. This is a bandana. This one ended up selling for $6. So I'm not too sure. I don't think she paid too much for those kits back in the day. It was probably like 10 or 20 or 15 free shipping or something like that. Way cheaper. Shipping was actually way cheaper back then. All right. Moving along, we have Cantigny, Illinois right here, a patch. We used to do really well with patches and pins. I still like to list them and get them, especially when they're like specific places or they look nice. I know there's a lot of people that collect them. A lot of people actually put their patches on like collectible jean jackets or their jeans or purses or backpacks or satchels, a ton of different stuff people, or they just collect them. They'll put them on like a board. Lots of different ways people collect this. So $12 for this. I don't know. I can't remember what Cantigny is right now. I should know. This is an Illinois patch. I'm really sleepy. I haven't been getting good sleep recently, so I've just been doing eBay stuff. So, and we'll get to that in just a moment because I did make a mistake on eBay. So that was $12. All right, moving along. This was a combo order for $18.65. 2 of the Munchkin board game Steve Jackson Games promo cards. So this one's gonna be Curse Shattered is the title. This one's Grin and Tonic instead of a Gin and Tonic. This is a satirical card game where each person is playing a munchkin. They're trying to get to level 10. The first one that gets there wins the game. It's based off of D&D. So, and it also has a lot of puns in it. That's why there's Grin and Tonic, and it's a Gin and Tonic smiling, stuff like that. This Curse Shattered, I think, is a Zelda reference. I'm not 100% sure on that one. But yeah, a lot of people like to grab these promo cards to accessorize their game. You can just throw these in. It's a really like relaxed card game. It's supposed to be like a tongue-in-cheek fun. You know, you bring out like chips and just like hang out with some buddies and just play the game. It's not supposed to be taken too serious. So, and then there's this game's super popular. They have so many different expansions and IPs and promos. So I had one more of each of these, so I relisted them. All right. So yeah, it is a pretty popular one. Last up, or I guess I'll talk about one other thing after this. These are going to be War Machine and Hordes. These are specifically Hordes. These are going to be kind of like their first edition, the MK2 right here. This is a Scorn 2010 faction deck. This is Legion of Everblight. Scorn is, I believe, like the elephants, kind of like the elephants and trolls. Legion of Everblight's kind of think like undead Zerg from StarCraft 2. So it's like what's the like Starship Trooper aliens. It's hard to relate to people, or not relate to people, to let people know like what these factions are in relation to other stuff. But yeah, these two decks were $27.98. They're not complete. One of them has 89 out of like 100 cards. The other one's 74. Each card represents a different troop where it shows all of their stats, so you don't have to go to the rule book. So when you're playing the game and you're playing Legion of Everblight, you have your little 5 troops. You take your 5 cards, and they also sometimes put sleeves on them so you can use dry erase to mark their health and stuff. But instead of having like a big rule book every time you want to do like a move with your character, you don't have to go through that big rule book. You get the cards. Like I said, you can use the rule book if you want. But yeah, $27.98. And the mistake that I have to like figure out, I think the best way is just to refund the person. This is what I was supposed to send. So I sent the wrong item. It's supposed to be this Malta Under Siege with their little cards right here. This was a C3I insert. I sent basically a different one, very similar like wording, so I just wasn't focused on the Monday. I believe I sent that on a Monday, where usually Monday when I have to pull like 30 or 40 items, plus on Sunday I don't get good sleep. Into Monday, I'm usually like jamming a bunch of stuff until the eBay work week starts. I generally take a break-ish on eBay in the weekends. I mean, you always have to be working on it. There's offers. I do videos. You have to answer messages. Sometimes I'll list a couple items. I have to organize, clean up. So yeah, because of not focusing on that Monday, I sent the wrong item. It's international, so I'm not too sure like what to fully do. I think I'm just going to refund that one. I'm going to talk to Netta. Haven't talked to her about it yet. Maybe have them refund the whole other one and see if they want to buy this one. I think that's the best route. I'm not too sure if there's like a proper way to just send this one with like the label that I already had. So like it gets complicated. Netta does all the shipping. So yeah, I definitely have to do a full refund and figure out if they still want this game, the correct one. I don't think I'm going to ask them to return the other one, even though I have returns on, because like full on like pure mistake on our parts. This hasn't happened in a long time, so this is a good reminder for me to like slow down a little bit. I have been slowing down a little bit this past month or two on eBay. I haven't been trying to do super crazy stuff. I haven't been like, oh, I need to up my listings from 40 to 50 or to 60 or something. I've been more organizing and trying to be more delicate, but the Monday is my weak points. We should probably be picking up orders on the weekend and then breaking up the weekend into, have them pre-pack some on the weekend and then on Monday finish up the rest of the packing. We've done that before and works out better. But yeah, that's probably the solution, is to focus on cleaning up, getting better sleep for myself for Mondays, doing a better, actually packing up some stuff on the weekends to break up the packaging so then I'm more focused and less mistakes happen. Refund the wrong order I sent, and this is the part I have to figure out if they still want the proper item. All right, that's everything. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to help support us, take a look at our links down below.